Okay, athletes, we've got another mobility routine coming at you today. We've got 3 little circuits of 3 exercises, okay? So 9 exercises total. The first 3 are really gonna be focused on your ankles. The second 3 are really gonna be focused on full lower body, so a lot of hips and some ankles. And the last one is full upper body, a lot of shoulders, keeping those shoulders strong and healthy, okay? That's gonna be our mobility routine for today. A couple of things that you're gonna need: a broomstick or hockey stick, a chair, yoga mat or something soft to do it on, and a stair, or I'm going to use just this yoga block over here, so you can use something like that. Some sort of a ledge is what you will need. All right, so let's get started. First one is going to be all on the ankles. I am just going to walk us through what each exercise looks like. I'm not going to follow along and do the full sets and reps. So I'm going to show you what everything looks like, and then you guys can pause the video, do all the sets and reps, and then move on to the next circuit. All right, here is our first circuit, starting with the ankles. You're going to use your stair, or like I said, I'm going to use this yoga block. And we're just going to do a hold, an isometric hold on the forefoot. So I'm going to get just the balls of my foot on this yoga block or on your stair. And then all we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to hold it for the allotted time. Okay, so as you are holding it here, ideally you don't have to have hands on the wall or anything. You can kind of just hold it. It might be a little bit of a balance issue. You're going to hold it for the whole time, and you're going to feel all of the muscles in your ankles really working to keep you stable. Hopefully that's an exercise that you guys are going to see yourselves improve on week by week. Your ankles are going to get very strong. Next exercise, you're going to stay on that same stair, or in this case my yoga block, and we're going to just do some calf raises. So working on your calves, working on the plantar flexion of your ankle. So on your stair, same position on the forefoot. We're going to go single leg. So I'm going to come as high as I can and then slow on the way down. Let your heel drop below the stair, and then high as you can, slowly drop beneath the stair. High as you can, slowly drop beneath the stair. If it's still pretty easy to do it on single leg, then you can also add a dumbbell. Just hold the dumbbell next to you as you're doing those calf raises. So we got the forefoot hold, single leg calf raise, and then our last one is to be working what's called dorsiflexion. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lean into the wall. So we're calling these wall leaning toe lifts. So I'm leaning into the wall. My feet are just under a foot away from the wall. And then I'm going to take my feet and I'm going to raise my toes off the ground as high as I can, and then slowly let them back down. Raise up as high as I can, slowly let them back down. This is working, like I said, in what's called dorsiflexion, which is this movement, working on the front side of the ankles, which is something that often gets neglected. We want to strengthen the whole ankle complex. That is your first ankle circuit, your first mobility circuit. Focus on the ankles. Second mobility circuit, focused on full lower body. We are going to need a chair for this one in a minute, so I'm going to bring this one over here. But the first thing I'm going to do, we're calling these groiners and open. So a groiner, we're going to get started in a push-up position. And then in that push-up position, you're going to take one foot and you're going to try to put it next to your hand. Okay, so I just took my foot, I put it just on the outside of my hand, and then I'm going to open up so that I'm looking at that foot. Big as you can, come right back down, reset to the top of your push-up, go to the other side. Foot comes next to the hand, opening up as big as I possibly can. And you guys can just be alternating sides, just like this. This is a groiner and open, okay? Second exercise, this is called a cosac squat, also known as just a side lunge. But particularly we're working on the mobility to get as low as we can. Most of you will probably need a chair for this. It'll be cool to progress to eventually not needing a chair, but I'm going to need the chair to get started. What's going to happen, we're going to go nice and wide with your stance. We're going to sit on top of the one leg, let your other leg go as straight as possible with the toe coming up, and you're going to feel a stretch. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to sit all the way down on my heel. This leg comes out straight. I'm getting the stretch here. Toe comes up. This foot that I'm sitting on is flat on the ground. That's important that it stays flat. Okay? So you're coming down, I'm gonna come up and just switch over to the other side. Same thing on this side. This leg comes straight out, nice and straight, toe is up, this foot is flat on the ground. I'm holding the chair just for stability to keep myself there. Ideally, we can eventually do this without a chair, but it is pretty tough, all right? You guys should hopefully see yourself get better at this one as you progress through the weeks, okay? That's the cosac squat. From there, your third one in this second circuit, we're gonna call this a single leg write the alphabet. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna balance on one leg, you're gonna raise the other foot, and then with your hip, you're gonna write the alphabet. You can go capital letters, smaller letters, doesn't matter. You're just gonna write a letter, A, B, C, and you're gonna go through the whole alphabet. Notice that when I'm writing it, I'm moving from the hip, I'm not moving from the ankle, right? That's not doing a whole lot. So I'm staying stable in this one hip. Really what we're doing is we're strengthening the hip that's standing into the ground. Because as that hip needs to keep your whole body weight up and tall, as your other leg is moving, that's gonna cause a lot of strengthening, a lot of stability here. So you're standing as tall with good posture, write the whole alphabet on the one leg, write the whole alphabet on the other leg, okay? That is your second mobility circuit. And then we're gonna move on to our upper body mobility circuit. I'm gonna get my chair out of the way. What we're looking for here, I'm gonna need my broomstick to start. Get the yoga block out of the way. I'm gonna come right down to the ground in a prone position. Prone is lying flat down, face first. I'm gonna come elbows in front and hands on the broomstick. From here, I'm gonna kind of crawl my fingers just about as wide as I can on the broomstick. Elbows are gonna come just about as far as I can forward. Head's gonna come down, and then I'm gonna try to push my I'm gonna push my armpits down into the ground. So I'm sinking armpits down into the ground. Often a big exhale here, so breathing all the way in, all the way out. This is going to really do you a lot of good. So we're just going to kind of hang out in this position for the allotted time. Ideally, we should feel a stretch in the lats, backs of the shoulders. That's going to be your prone broomstick lat stretch. Second one will be strengthening the backs of the shoulders now. We're going to get into our prone position. You can let your forehead drop right down to the ground. Elbows are going to be here at 90 degrees. You can go tight fists. Elbows are at 90 degrees. What we're going to do is we're going to externally rotate the shoulders, hold it for 2 seconds, relax back down, and you're going to do that for the allotted number of reps. Relax back down, rotate as far as you can each time. It may not feel like far. You're going to get that maximal isometric contraction. So you're contracting as hard as you can to get that fist as far open as you can. All right, so that's the prone external rotation. The last exercise in this mobility routine is what we're going to call an extended bird dog. So in a regular bird dog, we're here in our hands and our knees, and then you're reaching opposite hand to leg, right? Extended is progressing it. So we're progressing the bird dog by coming up to the top of your push-up and then doing the same thing from here. So it's going to be nice and slow and controlled. Reach out opposite hand to leg and then back down. Opposite hand to leg and then back down. These are pretty tough. Doing your best so the foot and the hand that are in the ground, push it into the ground to find that stability. Your arm and your leg that are reaching out, do your best to extend all the way as much as possible. That is the full mobility routine for today. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help.